Welcome to the Startup Show. I'm John Biggs. Pitching today is Meghan Joyce. She's CEO and co-founder of Duckbill AI. Duckbill AI is obviously a AI system for ducks, correct?
Almost, maybe
Almost.
someday.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
So,
we are building the personal assistant for everyone, combining
mhm.
AI plus humans in the loop. We believe that modern life was not constructed for the reality that most of us are living every day, which is a lot of dual income households, a lot of very busy people who are managing increasingly complex work, both professionally and personally, sometimes at home, managing their own life, kids, aging parents. And we all deserve access to affordable, effective help.
Mhm.
And AI is what it's going to take to unlock that. And yet, we also see AI a little bit like early autonomous vehicles, where really powerful and controlled settings, but you still need human hands on the wheel in order to be really effective in the long tail of the real world. And so, what we're doing is combining AI plus expert humans to offer affordable, genuinely effective leverage to every person.
Okay. So what does my life look like when I start using these AI?
Yeah. So, as part of your onboarding, part of what we do is identify opportunities for Duckbill to help you. I think what the consumer AI space has seen so far is that you give a Turing test capable model to the average person, and we don't really know how to make use of it in our everyday lives, especially in our personal lives where we're all used to just white knuckling it and getting it done ourselves. And so, what Duckbill does first and foremost is identify opportunities to help. We can integrate your calendar, take a look at recurring events, look at a few questions about you and compare you to people like you and identify opportunities such as booking regular doctor's appointments, dentist, self-care, home and car maintenance. If you have kids in the mix, we can ensure that they have everything they need for extracurriculars and camp. If you have aging parents, we can think
Mhm.
about healthcare, care for them. Um, and then just look at the seasonal, the calendar, the macro environment, as well as everything we get to know about you. And the longer you use the product, the better it becomes. Our goal is that you never have to think about what to ask us for, that like a good personal assistant, we're proactively recommending tasks for you. And with one click, you can opt in or opt out and get the help you need in an instant.
So that's interesting. So the idea, okay, so the kids need to go to camp or whatever, and it's going to see it on your calendar, and it's going to say, okay, well, you better pack a container of whatever road flares and a tent and all this other stuff. How does it know the
Yeah.
specifics of your situation?
Yeah, so it depends on, how much information we have access to about you. If you're brand new and you're coming in and you give us a little information like you have a couple kids, we might say summer's approaching. Have you registered them for camp? If not, we can help you with that. Take
Hmm.
you from soup to nuts, registration all the way to making sure the night before camp starts you have everything you need packed and ready to go. If we log onto your calendar and we see, gosh, Johnny is going to this specific camp, we can then do the research ourselves to say, okay, for a 9-year old going to this sleepaway camp, here's the list of recommended items. You can come in and just one click, one check. Yep, we already have a sleeping bag, but we do need extra toothbrush, and proactively send you some options to send those orders to your house. But we work with you. Our aim and our product mandate is to meet every person where they are.
Hmm.
That is what a good personal assistant does. A product fails if it requires you to do too much work, if it requires you to turn yourself into a pretzel just to use this new technology. And so our job is to really figure out where you are in the spectrum of planning, delegating, and to make that journey as easy as possible for you, such that you get to a point where before you know it, your cognitive load is released, your time is given back to you, and you're working with this assistant in a way that works for you.
So I guess so. Coming at it from, I've been covering AI for a little while now, and to the cynical side of me says, okay, well, this is a little too complete, right? So it sounds like I'm gonna reduce my cognitive load, and I'm gonna forget to bring his pants or something like that. So what are the safeguards here?
Yeah. So Look, I think first and foremost, we want to take things off your plate that you don't want to think about. And so, if you really care about finding the perfect gift for your significant other and making sure it's deeply meaningful to you, that might not be the first thing that you want to outsource. But if you
Hmm.
hate thinking about making sure you have your weekly groceries, then that's prime candidate to give us. We say, give us what you dread, because those are the things that you're going to be eager to hand off. And frankly, you're going to get the highest ROI, not only on your time, but your energy. And so part of our job at the outset is to understand what you dread and what would be a good candidate to hand off and what you don't. And those things that are sacred to you, you should keep. And we can help make them as easy as possible. But we never want to replace the joy or the things that you love doing in your everyday life. I think second, the reason that we have human eyes on this plus AI is we get the benefit of a large language model, machine learning to say, gosh, we're looking at this list from the camp, but they're missing obvious things like pants.
Hmm.
And these other lists all have pants on them. Maybe we should add that as another item. We also have human eyes on it, such that if a human, a smart, talented human, which by the way, we can afford to staff you with because we're pairing them with really powerful AI,
Hmm.
looks at this list and says, yeah, I see something missing in its pants. They can proactively add that. And then what I would say is, the real world is not perfect. There will always be things that, no matter how much advanced planning we can do for you, need urgent triage. That's where we come into play as well. You can ping us 24/7. We can jump on something such that if Johnny shows up at camp without his pants, we can make sure he gets something delivered
Hmm.
in real time from the local store and that he's taken care of. So, I think one thing our team brings to this is the acknowledgement that the real world is complicated. We're a team of former Uber and Oscar Health people. Our backgrounds were built on companies that combine high tech with real world industries, whether it's technology or whether it's transportation or healthcare. Transportation and healthcare, there are always things that go awry. And
Hmm.
so we expect that to happen and we build for it and we have multiple safety nets in place such that we got your back no matter what arises.
Yeah, that sounds like awful high touch. How do you scale this human AI hybrid?
Yeah, I mean, we have started with a premium product that we think of as akin to the early Uber Black. It is higher human touch, higher skilled people in the early days, and frankly, a lower amount of technology in early days just to learn how people want to work with these human assistants. What does it take to execute effectively for them? It's exactly how Uber started. All of those early black car drivers were, professional chauffeurs licensed by the state or the city with their own cars at a premium price point because they were
Hmm.
higher skilled, higher touch. As Uber learned what it took for people to drive others around the city effectively, in app navigation, safety mechanisms, things like that, they built a technology platform that allowed lower skilled people to come into the mix and technology to take on more of the burden. And that's exactly what we're doing. So already in the 2 or so years that we've been operating, we've moved from a model that was, 95% humans, 5% tech to something that's significantly more tech led and lower percent humans. And as we do that, we can ensure that those humans are operating at the top of their license, focusing on what humans truly do best, and we can allow tech to do what it does best as well. And as we do so, continually drop the cost to serve so that we can make the product more scalable and the price point more affordable for the everyday person.
How do you attack that market? How do you grab um, customers? I mean, you're talking about similar to startup founders. Everybody's busy. They're not focused online, etc. So you basically have a massive marketing problem. How are you solving that?
Yeah, candidly, marketing problem or marketing opportunity. And I think with
Uh,
with
somebody
acknowledging
somebody
that,
told me I give too many softballs on here, so I have to be a little bit meaner.
well, honestly, look, I love the fact that this is a tough category. I love the fact that it's a tough category to execute in, to win, to get consistently right, to grow and scale. That means that it's the kind of category that not only relies on really strategic, thoughtful people, but also great executors. That's what allowed Uber to become the, global company that it is today. Oscar Health to actually break through and provide a different way. We don't like easy categories. So don't worry about giving me softballs. But I think the
Hmm.
reality is, in a world in which our members and our potential members, our TAM, are extremely busy people who are going to give you one shot, the best asset we have in marketing and go to market and customer acquisition is the product. The product has to sing. And frankly, that's why we've spent the last 2 years making a product that actually sings. And frankly, when we came out of, our stealth mode about a year ago, about 9 months ago, I thought we were going to have to start putting a little more intentionality into marketing. And the reality is, we have 10x'd purely on the back of word of mouth and referrals. Because when the product works, when something actually gives people that level of relief and leverage that is magical and they can't believe, think of the first time you stepped out of an Uber and you were like, holy crap, that was unbelievable. You go tell 10 people. And so we're constantly getting people who are saying, can I sign up my sister-in-law? Can I sign up my college roommate? My coworker would really love this. And so that's been the basis of the growth. At some point, we will have to pour more effort into campaigns, going to where these people are, finding them, educating them, convincing them. But right now, word of mouth is not only plentiful for us, it's incredibly compelling, because nothing I can say is going to convince you like your best friend saying, no, no, this thing really works. And here's how I used it.
Hmm. What do you tell your folks to get them excited to come to work in the morning?
Yeah, honestly, it's about the mission. At the end of the day, we truly believe that society has changed. For centuries, the full time work of caring for a life and a home and a family, if you have one, has frankly been done by stay at home women, whether it's stay at home moms or intergenerational living or low paid domestic help. And the world looks a lot different now in 2024. Two-thirds of American households have a female breadwinner or co breadwinner. Most families are experiencing something where they either have a single working parent or two working parents. And yet, it's not like society, public policy, products available on the market have caught up to make those people's lives easier. We are suffering from unprecedented rates of burnout, inequity, lack of representation because of the strain that families are experiencing trying to balance both home and professional work. And so we all feel that every day. And we spend our lives talking to friends and family and loved ones who are as well. And the opportunity to actually make a dent and make people's lives easier, and the notes that we get every day from people saying, I don't think I could live without this. You've changed my life. I can't imagine a world without Duckbill. How can I give this to more of my friends and family, are what keep us motivated.
Hmm.
And really that's that, along with the opportunity to build in such a wildly dynamic space with such big meaty challenges, is our
Hmm.
team is just super revved.
Tell me about your biggest challenge so far.
I frankly think it's in nailing the product experience. Consumer AI has record levels of trial and record low levels of retention. And it's understandable. People are extremely busy. They are used to products that work. They have very little patience for things that don't actually add value in the real world. We're also at the beginning of the consumer AI S curve at that application layer. And so we're experiencing AI products that, can make your face into an astronaut kitty or something, or,
Hmm.
can be applied in gaming, but really haven't cracked how to make an impact, frankly, both in enterprise and consumer at scale. And so the opportunity for us is to figure out the product experience that does sing, because we know that people come in and they have one bad experience or they don't really get it and they leave us. And so we have been focused, as I said, for the last 2 years, since when we had nothing to now where we are today, to get to a point where we have industry leading retention. I mean, we have 95% rolling monthly retention. That
Mm-hmm.
means that the satisfaction is incredibly high, and we've worked day after day to get there. That was not a given. And by the way, that is stands head and shoulders above the average consumer AI company because we put that much effort into it. Um, and that's really been the challenge. How do you get this technology to be effective in the real world and to be something that the average consumer gets real value out of? And I'm so glad we've spent the time that we have on that because, as we were talking about, it's what carries the rest of the product and the growth.
Mm-hmm. And how do you get people to work alongside AI? What's the management process there?
You know, this is such an exciting opportunity for us, and I think it's not for the faint of heart. I think you need to create a culture and an environment where people are super excited to work with new technology. And I give immense credit to not only our tech team for working very closely with our co-pilots, the professional humans who are, giving leverage to our consumers every day, but also to those co-pilots themselves and the, intellectual curiosity and appetite and early adopter behavior that they have to be working with new tech. And then you create a culture where you reward handing off the redundant and the repetitive work to technology. You
Mm-hmm.
create a culture where you reward humans for wanting to operate at the top of their license. And there's no shame and there's no threat in handing off the mundane and the redundant to tech. The minute you get into that mindset, there's a threat between the humans and the technology. And so you have to create a culture and a reward system where you are genuinely telling people, no, the more you can identify these things you're doing over and over again and work with our tech team to put those into a tech and product solution, the more interesting your work will be and the faster it will scale, the more people you'll be serving. And in establishing that culture, we've set up an environment where everybody is aligned, where our tech team turns first and foremost to the co-pilots to understand where the opportunities are, and our co-pilots turn to the tech team to say, hey, I'm going to raise my hand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing something over and over again that I suspect tech can do better. And they are working hand in glove. And I am so proud of that culture because not only is it helping us win, it's also creating amazing jobs for these co-pilots who frankly would not have necessarily been able to work in an AI company with exposure to high tech at this point, but are now getting this incredible reskilling and upskilling and opportunity to build something alongside some of the best engineers on the planet.
All right, very cool. All right, so where can people check out Duckbill?
Duckbill AI. We would be
Duckbill
so
AI.
excited. You got it. Check us out. Shoot me an email, mjick@duckbill.com. I am always so excited to hear people's feedback. This is a real world product, and so we need real world feedback. And I so appreciate the opportunity to talk about it today.
All right, thanks a lot. This has been the Startup Show. I'm John Biggs. We'll see you next episode.